You are going to love today. We have the great Charles H. White with us. What a fabulous landscape painter. Charles, welcome to day number 222.
Thank you, Eric. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. You know, you kind of had a lot to do with all of this.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering why you waited to day 222 to put me on. Mitch said you got to bust his chops about that. But,
well, the reason I did that is because I wanted to hold the biggest day of viewing ever, which is the day before election day, because everybody's so sick of all the election nonsense that they're tuning in and they're saying, I hope Eric does something special, like really, really special. And so that's why I put you on day 222.
Ooh, pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. So I should probably tell people that, that there is a story behind how you and I met. I was in Walnut Creek, California. I was living out there. I think the kids, I don't even know if the kids had been born yet. And Lori and I don't think they were, because Lori and I were walking through a street art show in Walnut Creek. And I saw your paintings and I was instantly blown away by your paintings. And I introduced myself. I don't think I did any of this at the time, and asked if you did lessons, and of course the rest is history.
Yeah, we had a good time. Every Wednesday night, we got together with the crew and went to dinner, and then had a 2-hour class.
Yeah, I met some of my closest friends ever in that class. You know, Mitch Netto and Thomas Laurie and Faraday, and of course you and many others. And we were in that class together. I'll bet we did that class together for, what do you think, 8 or 9 years?
Oh, it wasn't that long, was it?
It was a long time.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking 4 years.
No, I think it was longer than that.
Yeah. It just seemed longer, that's all.
Yeah, it seemed longer.
No, it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to, where's Dr. Death today?
Oh, Dr. Death is over there in the corner. He's just hanging out over there. I don't know if you can see him.
He had Dr. Death on Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Dr. Death says hi, and he says, don't come too soon.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's knocking at the door these days. With the pandemic and all.
Yeah. Let's hope not. So, Charles, what are you going to do for us today?
I have no idea.
Okay, good. Nice knowing you. And that's probably why I didn't invite you before day 222. I had to start reaching into the dregs, right?
Oh, I figured after 222 or however many people, what's left? You know, what is possibly left that they haven't covered? Well,
we save the best. And, well, you know, there are some artists who actually pick up the phone and call and say, hey, you know, I'd be willing. And I never heard from you. I assumed you didn't want to do it.
No.
So what are you going to do today?
Sooner or later. I'm actually going to do a little, my Bob Ross impression of fluffy little clouds, happy little clouds.
Oh, good. You do great clouds. I learned more about clouds from you than anybody. I want to say, just for everybody's benefit, Charles is the best teacher. I studied with Charles for, I think, 8 or 9 years, and he really, really helped me understand all the core principles. Whether or not Charles's style is your style, it doesn't matter what you can learn. You can learn so much about all these core principles from Charles, including like clouds, you know, things that I never really understood before. So you're going to love this today. Charles, we'll be back in just a second, and we'll get to you, and then we're looking forward to it. You can adjust your camera in the meantime.
Yeah.
All right. Well, today our guest is Charles H. White, and it is day number 222. My name is Eric Rhoads. I'm a publisher of a magazine called Fine Art Connoisseur and another called Plein Air Magazine. We also do 4 free e-letter magazines or newsletters. One is called Fine Art Today. One is called Plein Air Today. Another is Realism Today. And then last but not least, American Watercolor. We didn't do today. I don't know why. Anyway, they're all free, and you can find them on various websites and so on. I guess the thing to tell you would be we have all the stuff that we do. If you're tuning in for the first time, everything we do is at streamlinepublishing.com/everything. You'll find blogs, marketing, podcasts, products, virtual conferences, in-person conferences, TV channels on art, newsletters, magazines, artist retreats, and so much more. That's streamlinepublishing.com/everything. I should also mention to you while I'm here is that Plein Air magazine is now in 278 Michaels stores, and it is the #1 selling art magazine in Barnes & Noble. So if you've never seen it, go check it out at one of those two places if you're allowed out. All right. Now, also, you want to check out the Plein Air podcast. It's every week, a different artist. Charles, I don't know if he's been on the Plein Air podcast. We need to find out. Have you been on the Plein Air podcast?
No.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to invite you. All right. We'll get that done. All right. So anyway, we're going to put Charles on the Plein Air podcast as well. That'll be fun. And so check out Plein Air podcast. We also have one called the Art Marketing Minute. It's a separate podcast, and it's basically answering your questions about art, which you can send me, eric@artmarketing.com. I do a lot of stuff on marketing. I have a book, Make More Money Selling Your Art, and I have a series of videos, and I'm working on an online instruction course, which probably will take me another 5 years to get done. All right, so what's going on today? Well, first off, we have a winner. Today's winner of my book, Make More Money Selling Your Art, is Mary Whitman of Virginia. Congratulations, Mary. Thumbs up and applause for Mary. We love people who get the book, and you get it for free. So thank you for that. Also, today's prize, where you win it by putting comments in the comments section, and we randomly pick comments from all the platforms, the replays, the lives, different platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook in multiple places. We are on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, Periscope. So lots of different places, and soon to be in one more place, which is I can't tell you about yet. So that's every day, and we're getting thousands of viewers around the world every day. We're on every day at 12 noon, and I should probably show you that. 12 noon every day, weekdays. I gave up weekends finally. So you can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Streamline Art Video. Just go there and search. And if you're on YouTube, I get the question a lot. If you're on YouTube, what you want to do is subscribe, because then it'll come to you every day. But also you're going to gain access to the 222 days of content that we've produced. And this will give you an opportunity to go back and see all the marketing videos I've done, to see all the different guests, artists, galleries, collectors, etc. that I've done. So go to YouTube, search Streamline Art Video, and hit subscribe. All right. I think that probably makes sense. I want to tell you also, if you're tuning in, we have a 2-hour video. It's $107 value. It is called 97 Amazing Painting Secrets from the World's Best Artists. If you're tuning in for the first time, if you've never received this, you can get it digitally, or you can get it on DVD. I think if you do DVD, you got to pay the shipping. But anyway, get it digitally, 97tips.com. It's free, and so go for that. I want to congratulate again Dave Santianis, who won the Plein Air Salon. We just wrapped up another month of entry for Plein Air Salon, and you can enter your best paintings. You've got a month now. You've got the entire month. Get your paintings in. It will be life-changing. Also want to mention to you that every day at 3 p.m., we're offering a free art tutorial. Every day, we've got over 600 that we've produced. And so we want to share those with you. So we're sharing samples every day. Today is Painting Simplified with the great Bill Davidson. He's a hoot to watch, and he's on at 3 p.m. in the same places you're finding us now, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So make sure you tune in for that. All right. So last but not least, I'm doing a live event. Last week, it was Watercolor Live. Realism Live. A few weeks ago, before that, it was Plein Air Live. Now we're doing Watercolor Live with the world's best watercolor artists. A very rare thing to have all these greats in one place. We have people who are tuning in from all around the world. We've already got over 400 people signed up. and we're a long way away. We have people signed up from over, I think, 25, 27 countries, including Asia. So we have incredible lineup of artists, and you want to make sure you get this. If you're thinking about watercolor, if you're not a watercolorist, you want to watch this. This is so much fun. This is 4 days of content, including a beginner's day, which is optional. You can sign up for. And we have Linda Daly Baker. We have Agnes McEwen from, I believe he's in Ireland, and fabulous painter. Michael Holter. Kim Menchenko, I believe I got it right. I'm always getting her name right. Brenda Swenson, Jean Peterson, John Salamin, the great Joseph Zbukvich, who is considered the best watercolor artist in the world, Kiko Tanabe, a classic, Lauren McCracken. Can you imagine being able to do that in watercolor? That's incredible. Mario Robinson, incredible portraits. Matthew Bird, you're going to learn a lot about flowers. Pablo Rubin. Suni Warren, one of the most popular watercolor artists in the world. Thomas W. Schaller, again, one of the great watercolor artists in the world. These are all the best of the best. Stephen Zhang, Andy Evenson, and Daniel Marshall. And Dan and all these others will be joined by some others that have not yet been mentioned. So come to watercolorlive.com and get signed up. You will not regret it. You save $200 if you register before the 30th of November, and that's right after Thanksgiving. So it's coming up. Just get it done. And you have a money-back guarantee. If you watch and you don't like it by the end of the first day, if you don't feel like the first day has been worth it for you, it's not right for you for whatever reason, let us know. We'll refund 100% of your money. We actually had one. Somebody thought it was completely different from what they were into, and they were not into it at all. So we gave them their money back. So that's one out of, I don't know, 1,500 or something. That's not bad. Anyway, please get registered today at watercolorlive.com. Now, I want to show you a couple of images from my great friend, Charles H. White. I have not seen these images, but Allie pulled them up, and we'll see some images. Charles is oftentimes known for his fall scenes. He does incredible color work. His coastal scenes. Charles and I used to go out to the coast and paint all the time. Give you just a little sampling of some of his work. There's another fall scene. He loves these fall scenes in roads. And I was painting a fall scene in road the other day. I was thinking about Charles because he knows how to nail it. That's Mount Diablo in California, classic California scene. There's another one. And Charles, I probably have somewhere in here, I probably have I have hanging up in my studio. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to go off camera for a second. I think I've got it. Hang on.
You got one of my pieces? I'm honored.
As a matter of fact, it's the
trash can. All right. Yes, I remember that.
Well, that was the view from my backyard, if you remember.
I remember that.
And we painted out there, and what an incredible view. Never lived with a view like that before or since. And so this has very special meaning to me, first off, because you really taught me painting, but secondly, because it reminds me of where we used to live. And so it's the only one. Well, actually, there's one other painting from another artist hanging in my studio, but and that's a classic old Russian painting. But you're the only other artist hanging in the studio.
Right up there with the Russians.
Yeah, I do have it. Unfortunately, it's behind the door.
My painting's behind the door.
Yeah.
Well, I'm better than having it above the toilet or something. Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, you get more viewing that way than any other place. All right. So it's not behind the door. I was joking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. You have to know my sense of humor.
Yeah.
All right. So Charles, why don't we get started? Because we need to give you lots of time because I know you're a very slow painter.
Yes. Yes. Well, I sped up quite a bit.
I'm joking again.
To show people what I've been doing lately, you asked what I've been doing. We go out every week with a group of plein air painters, Mitch included, your buddy Mitch, and several other artists, and we do plein air. This is the one we did on Thursday. The light was going fast, so I did this in about an hour, 15 minutes, Del Val Reservoir. And then I've been doing some studio work. Again, you were showing the fall scenes. I did this one last week or a couple of weeks ago, another fall scene with some light streaming through. And also I do gardens. This was one I did about a month ago. English border garden. So I just wanted to give people an idea of some of the stuff I've been doing lately. And I thought we would take a little trip down memory lane and show you how I got started in the biz many years ago. I've been doing this for about 65 years.
How many?
65.
So I wasn't even born yet.
I know. I started when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of sketches here I did when I was, 8, 10. And Jonathan's going to put up a couple of images. I did this. I was into birds and animals. So I did this sketch when I was about 10 or 11. And India ink. This is how I started.
Right.
And then I went from there into crayon, good old Crayola stuff.
Ooh.
And started doing landscapes. And then my grandmother gave me an oil painting set when I was 12. And she said, you need to start painting in oils, go outside and start painting. And this was my very first oil painting.
Well, it's neat that you have that.
Yeah, I kept this. I think I was, 12 at the time. And then the next one is my first plein air.
Really?
That's the first plein air painting I did at age 14.
Wow.
A little cabin in the woods.
You're from Canada. You're from Canada, aren't you?
Yeah, this was in Ontario. Yeah, right along the St. Mary's River.
You got people watching from Canada, Costa Rica, Austria.
Whoa!
Wow, a lot of places around the world.
And then the next slide is the first painting I sold.
Really?
To my aunt for the grand total of $15.
Wow.
And she had that displayed in her home for most of her life. And then just before she died, she asked if I wanted it back. And I said, yes, definitely. So,
and what did she charge you?
She actually sent it to me for free.
Oh, wow.
It was nice to have that. And some of these, initial paintings I did, I still have, which is really a treat. I also wanted to plug my, DVDs, which you're selling. Streamline has these. This is a fall scene, which I did start to finish in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. There's no breaks, no camera stops. It's start to finish, so you can follow along on the techniques I use to do the fall scenes. And this one is painting Monet's garden. And it also has a cloudscape towards the end of the DVD. So you can find those
at lilyartvideo.com. And normally we want to film them ourselves, but Charles's son is a professional videographer, so we let him do them.
Yep. The man does a great job.
Yes,
and also, they've got a book of my work and life story, which Eric Rhoads wrote the foreword in, which I'm very proud of. So it's got about 150 images of my work. And you can
also at lilyartvideo.com.
Yep, you can get that from that source as well. So today we should get started because it's time is ticking away.
Tick-tock, baby.
Tick-tock, baby. So today, the thing that I get asked more than anything from my students is help me to do clouds. How can I do clouds and make them look real? So I decided I would do that. And I loved your Bob Ross impression the other day with his angel wings, painting little clouds with angel feathers. That was really a kick. Anyway,
if you haven't seen that, I'll show it if we have time at the end.
It was a hoot. So I'm using linen. I like to paint on linen. I like the surface. It's a little softer and smoother than canvas, and the tooth is a little longer. So that's what I'm using, and then I always do an undercoat of acrylic. I use red oxide and white, and do the underpainting so it gives a nice warm background.
You always use the same underpainting color?
Always, yeah. You know, over the years, I've experimented with light yellows and light reds, and this one seemed to work the best. So I just, when I get a canvas, I just, prime it with this and stack them up in my studio so they're ready to go. Today I'm using probably 2 or 3 brushes. I've got a Rosemary number 7 flat and a Rosemary Evergreen 4 filbert and a Rosemary filbert number 4. So I got 2 number 4 filberts, which I may use, probably I'll just use the Evergreen because it's got a little softer bristle, and a fan brush. Here's my palette, which we'll talk briefly about. I use a simplified palette.
You've reduced the number of colors, I think, since I studied with you.
Yeah, I don't use a lot of colors. I keep it quite simple. I've got 2 yellows.
Can you hold that closer to the camera? There we go. Good.
Yeah, okay. We got yellow ochre and cadmium yellow medium. Sometimes I'll use a cad light if I think I need it. Cad red. This is Venetian red and alizarin crimson and cerulean blue, ultramarine blue, and I got a little Payne's gray here today because we're going to do some clouds, so I put a Payne's gray in there. And then, of course, white.
All right, let's get painting.
Yeah.
I'm a taskmaster, baby.
You are. You are. You're a hard guy to keep up with. Aren't you exhausted after all of these sessions with all these artists?
I'm invigorated.
Wow. Okay, we're going to start up here. Can you see this all right?
Yep.
Yeah. Start up here with the white clouds, and using.
Are you making it up or using a reference?
No, I'm using this reference right here, the photo reference. Can you see it?
Hang on a second. Yes. Okay, we see that.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that pure white, or did you put some yellow ochre in it?
Well, I put some yellow ochre in it. I very seldom use straight white. It's a little bit cold. So I always add a touch of yellow ochre or cad yellow.
So you always put your whites in first on your clouds?
Yes. Yeah, I want to get the whites in. I'm using quite a bit of paint. A lot of times the students are very skimpy with the paint. And this is part of their problem, why they can't get it done right, because they don't put enough paint on the canvas. So you got to get it on there and push it around before you can start doing anything with it. If you don't have
Can you talk about perspective in clouds, because you're going up off the edge of the canvas, for instance?
Okay. Can you see everything going on?
Yeah.
Okay, what we need to do here with the clouds is try to create form. So we do that with, of course, values, light and dark values. So I'm putting the light values in first with the large flat. And then I'll put in the grays to create the shapes and form. And we put this in fairly quickly and loosely because we're not real concerned with shape and form right yet. We're going to do that with the grays. Okay, and then there's some.
And you're letting a little of that pink show through, which helps too.
Yes, that's another reason I do the warm underpainting is it helps warm everything up.
So you've put a little Payne's gray in there already.
Put a little gray in.
And is it Payne's gray and white, or did you add it Payne's gray and white with yellow ochre in it?
I took the yellow ochre and then threw in some of the Payne's gray on top of it.
So didn't that give you kind of a greenish tone?
Slightly, yeah. But I wanted this cloud to be a little secondary to this cloud here.
Yeah.
So I want this to be a little darker, more muted.
All right.
And then we've got some clouds down here at the very bottom, which are going to be fairly light as well. And I put the tree line in there so I'll know where to stop my sky. I have
Are those trees dry?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to do this demo for the venerable ADAS meeting on Tuesday. They wanted to do a green hills with poppies, so I'm going to save this for them.
Oh, well, why don't you do both for us? What's the problem?
I could if we had the time. I didn't even think I'd get finished with this cloudscape until time is up. Okay, that's pretty much what I wanted. A little bit right in here as well. So I got my whites all down. Now I'm going to switch over to the gray. And on my palette, I've got a series of, where's the, oh, it's over here. Well, you can't see very well.
What do you want to do?
Just show the series of grays. There you go.
Here.
Yeah, you know, from the white to the yellow, gray.
Hold it up a little higher. Can't see it.
There you go.
All right. Good.
Yeah, just a series of grays so that you're not stuck with one. It goes in descending order from light to dark. So now we're going to go with a little darker and create some shadows around the outside of the white. Try to stay awake, Jonathan.
Yeah.
He's over here nodding off.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's the guy that did my 2 DVDs. And very professional at it. Thank you. Okay, so we're doing this. You can see the gray going into the white. I'm not crazy about the flat as a blending brush. So that's why I'm using or I'm going to go to the filberts because they'll do a better job at blending. But let's get the paint down first. One nice thing about the big flat is it lays a lot of paint on the canvas at the same time. Can you see what's going on here?
Yeah, so always lay the paint in before you even begin really trying to.
Yeah, if you don't have enough paint, and you know, I have to drill this into my students. I used to teach 5 classes a week. Now I knocked it down to 2 because it was getting to be too much. Plus the pandemic has, made people stay home. They don't want to come out. So I'm down to 2 classes, but they're real stingy with the paint. And they always say, well, it's so expensive. But you gotta use the paint, or if you don't get the paint on there, you can't push it around and do what you want to do with it.
So now you're adding the dark.
Now I'm adding the darker gray underneath, and as this blends into the other, you'll start seeing the shape of the clouds emerge.
I'm going to real quickly show the reference so people can see that. So the reference is the one that Charles is staring at right now above him. All right. Now I'm going back. All right.
Can you see it?
Yep. Okay. Now we're back to the canvas.
It's getting a shot. You want to raise that up a little bit, or?
No, it's fine.
Okay. As long as I can see it, right?
That's right.
That's the important thing. You keep your eye on the canvas, I'll keep my eye on the reference.
Yes, he's painting with oils. Somebody asked. He's painting on a linen canvas, primed with acrylic. New Orleans says hello. They finally got electricity back after 5 days. Welcome back, New Orleans. Hello, Johannesburg. Ashland, Oregon. That's almost like a foreign country.
I used to have a gallery in New Orleans.
I remember that.
Katrina did them in. Good people down there.
Yeah, I remember going into that gallery.
Okay, I got another really dark spot right over here.
So it's good to lay those darks in before you start blending, because otherwise you're gonna lighten up your darks, I assume.
Right. Yeah, you want to keep them fairly separate, because if you start blending too much, then you lose the value and the lights and darks. So you want to lay them in first, and then push them around and blend them with your fan brush or with a filbert.
Nigeria is watching. Hello, Nigeria.
Nigeria. Wow.
Kerala. I don't know where Kerala is. You'll have to tell us where that is. Cozumel. All right, Cozumel. Welcome. Boy, we truly have the world today. You're an internationally renowned artist, Charles.
Wow. Can I put that on my resume?
Yes. Yeah. Just quote me.
I've painted in front of the world.
Painted in front of the world.
I feel like I did when I was at Art Expo in New York at Javits Center.
Yeah.
Standing in the aisle, surrounded by all these world-class painters and 20,000 people breathing down my neck. Pressure.
Yeah, pressure. Hague, Netherlands. Welcome, Netherlands.
Okay, I'm just about finished with the lay-in of the gray.
India, Austria. Wow, we've got the world today. I guess now that people are getting re-locked down, I guess we're seeing even more people. Sorry about that, guys.
Well,
New Zealand.
Another thing about clouds is, of course, every region, no matter where you are, has different clouds. What I'm painting here is typically California, low cumulus clouds, which aren't real thunderheads like you get in the Midwest, or you'd get, in Arizona or someplace like that, where they have really booming thunderstorms. So the clouds here are pretty soft and not too cumulus.
Okay.
So I'm used to doing these, but wherever you are, you have to get used to doing the clouds, that are native to where you're painting.
I see. Yeah, of course. Kerala is in the southern tip of India, God's own country.
Wow.
Also another one here. Here's Newfoundland and Montreal.
All right.
Make you feel right at home, Charles.
Yeah, exactly. My old
Dorset in the UK. Oh, you guys are really climbing in today. Thank you for that.
Well, I hope they're entertained.
Well, I hope they learn how to paint clouds.
Yeah. So now I'm doing a cloud which is in front of another cloud. And when you do that, they're usually darker than the background cloud. So I'm doing a gray over the light. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to drag this one down in front of this. It creates a little drama and a little interest.
Charles, are you in the studio at home? Or are you in the studio? Where are you painting from today?
My studio is a little cramped, and we couldn't get the lighting
So
right.
you're in Oakland?
No, we're in Pleasanton at the
Okay.
at John Madden Soundstage.
Okay. Lebanon. Welcome, Lebanon.
Okay, so I think it's time for the blend.
Let me ask you a question before you do that.
Yeah.
You blend your clouds before you put the blues of the sky in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to do the cloud first. You don't want to paint your sky blue and then try to do clouds over it, because then you're painting something light and warm over something cool and dark. So you want to create the warm atmosphere of the underpainting shining through, so it'll give you extra warmth in your clouds. Then you do the blue around it.
Okay.
So a lot of students will just go ahead and paint the whole sky blue, and then they'll worry about putting the clouds in. And you're sort of defeating your purpose doing that, because you're creating a cool atmosphere behind something that should be warm.
Hello, Ivory Coast.
Okay, so a little blend here. We'll take the rosemary evergreen filter
Okay.
and start with the light and just soften those edges.
Well, the reason I ask about putting the blue in, because how do you get the soft edges against the sky if the blue is not there?
Well, we'll show you that.
Ah, big secret.
Yeah, keep the secrets to the last. Basically, it's a light touch. You've got to be careful not to put too much pressure on the brush as you bring it in, the blue into the white, and don't meld them together. Try to keep them separate.
So you never have a sharp edge on a cloud, do you?
No. You don't see sharp edges on clouds, basically. Hey, it's water vapor, right?
Yeah.
So you want to keep it soft and vaporous. That's what clouds are. Okay, so I'm not going to complete the blend before I put the blue in, but I just want to get some of these.
Well, give us an example of blending the gray into the gray.
Yeah, see, a very light touch. You don't push too hard, so you're just moving a small amount of paint.
Very, very easy to lose it. You could start creeping into one another very fast.
Exactly. Yeah, the wet on wet, you have to be very light-handed, delicate. You can't be too heavy-handed. And that's pretty much true with a lot of things in landscape. Don't be heavy-handed, especially if you're doing wet on wet. You got to do a light touch. Okay, now we will take the blue, and I was going to pre-mix this, but I didn't get a chance to.
And Charles, one thing I want to ask you about is that there's a lot of question about blues in a sky. Some people tend to make them too light. Some people tend to make them too dark. How do you judge that? Is it simply what you see, or is there more formula to it for you?
Well, against a white cloud, you want it fairly dark because you want that contrast.
Yeah.
But down towards the horizon, the further you get to the horizon, of course, the lighter and the more turquoise it becomes.
So how do you make it more turquoise? You put yellow into your blue?
Put yellow into blue. Right.
There's a great color called Horizon Blue that's made by Holbein, which seems to have nailed the perfect.
Oh.
But then again, it's just one more tube of paint.
One more tube of paint. What I do is I mix the cerulean blue with cad yellow light.
Yeah.
It gives me a real pretty turquoise.
Okay.
You can buy, a tube of turquoise paint if you want. Yeah, that's another tube of paint to carry around.
Well, all my manufacturer customers love it when people buy paint.
Yeah, I mean, I've got students who have, 20 or 30 different tubes of paint. And
Okay, Charles, I'm going to go on camera here just to show them. Look back there. Do you see 20 or 30 tubes of paint? No, you see dozens, and there's even more hiding out in other places.
yeah.
It's like every time I turn around, I'm buying a new color.
Well, I'm a great believer in limited palette and keeping it simple.
Yeah.
I mean,
Obviously, I didn't listen to you when I studied with you.
shame on you.
Yeah.
It's hard enough mixing colors. Students are always asking, how do I get this color? How do I get that color? And if you keep your palette simple and you're only using the primary colors, it becomes much easier to not get confused about what you're doing. You're just using the same colors. And I think it creates more harmony in your painting.
Absolutely. So are you, is that a cerulean blue up there? I can't tell.
That's cerulean with a little bit of alizarin crimson.
Okay.
And, of course. So I'm adding a little bit of red into the blue. And right along here, I want it fairly dark because I've got the white, the white clouds going on there.
Will you actually make that a little darker than the rest of it, just around the edges?
Yeah, just along the top here.
And then you blend it in. Okay.
Yep.
Look at that confidence.
Lay that stuff in.
Lay it in.
And then as you get down here, it's going to get lighter. So you're going to add a little more yellow to it.
I think everybody watching should try to do a cloud painting. Take this video and try to do one, and then post it so that we can see it, because I think it'd be really interesting to see if this really helped you nail your clouds if you weren't nailing them already. I still have problems with clouds. My tendency is to put the darks in first, and that I'm seeing I was doing it backwards. I see somebody else said that too.
Yeah, I'm always working with the lights first. You can always push a sky in. I mean, why put the blue in too early? Just it's gonna go in. So just be patient and do your clouds the way you want them, and then bring your blue into what you've created.
Now, do you ever warm one side of the sky and cool the other side of the sky based on the light source?
Not usually.
Okay.
I have sometimes if it's a large sky expanse and you want to see where the light source is coming from.
Okay.
Usually I don't do that. Okay, now I'm adding a little bit of the yellow to the cerulean blue. And we'll put a little bit of turquoise in there.
Is it the same value?
No, it's a little bit lighter value because I've added more white to it. And I want it to be a little greener down here, which will harmonize with the green I've got in my landscape. And you start right about here, and down here you get even lighter. Add a little bit more yellow, a little bit more white for the blue down in here. How are we doing on time?
We're at, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, you timed it well.
And then we just blend these two together. Now I'm going to go back in with the white again. And I'm going to use almost a pure white with a touch of yellow.
So much brighter white.
A little brighter white, right?
Kind of hard to tell on camera what's happening there, but.
Yeah, this is where you've got to watch wet on wet that you don't get too muddy.
Yeah, got to keep your brush clean.
Yep. And be careful as you're coming up to the blue that you don't pick up too much of the blue. If you do, wipe it off. Now, if you're doing little clouds in the blue sky, you'll add a little red to it so it doesn't turn green on you. Add a little alizarin crimson to the wispies.
What do you mean? Add a little alizarin into what?
Into white.
Okay.
See, this is your little wispy clouds up into
Yeah. That's just alizarin and white.
alizarin and white.
Looks gray to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll turn sort of a gray because you're adding the blue to it. So you got basically a purple. You're adding the white, which has a little bit of yellow in it, to the red and the blue.
I see. Okay, so it's gray. It's naturally graying then.
Right. And then do the same thing here. Bring it down over your main cloud.
Will you ever, do you ever use your clouds to create little secret hidden arrows to point to a focal point or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can you see this Mount Diablo painting here?
Yeah. Yeah, hang on a second. I'll go over to it. Yeah.
Yeah, see how how these clouds are pointing towards the peak of the mountain on each side.
Ah.
The opposite direction of the way the mountain is going. And to create interest and to create movement. So those are pointing to the focal point, which is the top of your mountain.
Okay, you got 8 minutes left, and then I'm going to have to yank you off.
Okay. Okay, we've got a little bit of gray down in here, which we haven't covered yet. But it's pretty much done, except for a little bit of blending here and there. Cover up some of the, and I think we need a little bit darker area right in here.
That looks like you're using a blue.
It's blue-gray, yeah. Yeah, this is adding ultramarine to the alizarin and paint spray.
Okay.
So you see how it's giving it a contour?
Yeah.
So you get the darkest under the bottom of the cloud. Yeah, this has to be a little bit darker here too. So you throw that in there. And then you blend it up. And now you're creating the round shape of the cloud. So the problem with clouds is people tend to make them too hard-edged and too flat. They don't create a round shape in the cloud. So you do that with a slight gray here so that you know that this is billowing over that and this is billowing over that because of the light and dark.
Now, what if you're doing like a glowing afternoon sun on the clouds? Follow the same principles. You just put more yellow into your whites.
Yeah, yeah. You're using a lot more color when you do that. Like this painting right here. I don't know if you can get up and see that, but this has a lot of pinks, purples, yellows.
Yeah.
Because it's later in the day.
Yeah.
This is like an hour before sunset, so you're getting a lot of white going into pink going into yellow, and yellow going into pink going into purple.
Yep.
And that gives you a lot of movement and motion in your clouds, plus a lot of color.
All right, we're down to about the last 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. Well, let's bring this up here. Stand back, see how it's looking. A little darker down in here. Into the tree.
People are liking this today, Charles.
What's that?
I said people are liking it.
People are liking it.
They like you. They really, really like you.
Oh, they like me. They really like me. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. A little bit of darkness over here. So it's light and dark, gradually moving from light to dark to create your roundness in your shadow. And it's still a little bit hard-edged right here. So,
yeah. So you haven't done all the clouds, but anyway, I think people got the idea. Well, once you come back on camera, and we'll just talk for. Oh, you smooth them out. You hadn't used the fan brush before. Okay, let's see what you're doing.
If you want to get rid of the hard edges in a hurry, just use a fan brush and go in and just go over it, smooth it out, get rid of the hard lines. Right down in here.
And I would think even the further away, the softer the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Come back on camera. Outstanding. Well, thank you so much, Charles. This has been a pleasure.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. And I hope that viewers got something out of it.
Absolutely. So let's find out where we can find out all about you. Let's say, first off, your Instagram is Charles White Art 43.
Right.
And that's based on your age, right? You're 43 years old?
Exactly. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm an old looking 43. It's because of all the hard years I've had. My son has aged me.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's breathing in all those chemicals.
Yeah.
All right. And your website is charleswhite.net.
Right, not .net. I need to update that. I'm terrible at marketing, I admit. Yep. The website.
You don't know anybody who could help you.
No, not a soul. I'm bad at that. I've been extremely busy painting and not spending enough time marketing. And I'm guilty as charged. But
yeah, but you always, I learned a lot about marketing from you because you've always done a really great job on that. Let's see if I can figure out how to get us both on camera. There we go. You're a little off camera now. There we go. I learned a lot about marketing because you've been selling art consistently for what, 40, 50 years?
About 40 years. Yeah, I've made a good
40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been published since 1995, and that helps get your images out around the world.
So when you talk about that, what you're saying is that you're published on G clays and mouse pads and things like that, right? Yeah,
you license your work to anybody who wants to do images. Like my publisher which is Hadley House, will sell my images or license my images to manufacturers who want to put images on books or cards or puzzles or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
Another source of income.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus teaching. you got to have a lot of irons in the fire. You can't just depend on your originals. And I've historically gone through galleries. I've always had galleries, so I haven't gone to the internet until lately. Last October was the first time I got involved in Instagram and putting my stuff on the internet. So I need to move into that direction because that seems to be where sales are going.
Well, it's certainly one of the, you have to look at everything as a separate outlet. It's a cumulative effect these days. It's not just galleries, not just online. There's just a lot of different alternatives. And these days we kind of have to work it all. Well, Charles, this has been a pleasure. I want to publicly thank you. You changed my life. And I just miss being around you every day. I think you need to move to Texas. That's what I'm thinking. And then about the time you get here, I'm going to move out.
Well, it's been a pleasure and a joy, and I really appreciate our association and all that you've done for the art world by putting all of these programs out and having these great artists show how to do it. You've helped a lot of people. Everything
I learned about generosity, I learned from you.
No, I don't believe that for a minute.
All right. Well, thank you again. Everybody go to charleswhite.net or at least go to Instagram, Charles White Art 43. And that way you can see his work on a regular basis because he's cranking them out probably like 2 a day.
Right.
Right.
At least.
You are pretty fast.
You can get these videos from Streamline.
Yeah, lilyartvideo.com and just
I need the money.
Yeah. All right. I like that. I need the money too. So, and your book.
There it is. Nothing like
Eddie says he knows nothing about marketing.
Yeah, of course the plug with the plein air hat. Yeah, I've got it all figured out.
Yeah, you got it down. You should have had a watercolor live apron or a realism live apron or plein air live or something. Yeah. All right, Charles. Well, thank you so much. It's good to see you. God bless you, man. And once pandemic's over, we'll go painting.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let me know when you're coming to California again. We'll do it.
I always do.
All right.
Take care. That's Charles H. White. And today, what a great demo in clouds. I hope you like that. Make sure you leave comments in the comments section because we'd love to see where you're watching from. And we're also giving away prizes. Today's prize is a pair of value specs. You want to make sure you get that. Also, you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Eric Rhoads, RHOADS with no E. Everybody always gets it wrong. And couldn't hurt, might help. You can also find pretty much all the stuff I do at ericrhoads.com. I need to update it because there's a couple things I've added. And be sure to explore Watercolor Live. It's in January, at the end of January, and it is going to be spectacular. I mean, we really have a world-class lineup, 4 days of teaching. Everybody who's gone to the other two have just had a fabulous time. It's a worldwide audience. You're connected with the world, and that's a lot of fun. You're making friends all around the world. And so we're all one big art family. Those of you watching around the world, go to watercolorlive.com and check it out. And unfortunately, I can't sell you replays of the Realism Live or the Plein Air Live, but you can sign up for the next ones when those come out. If we do them again, it's going to kind of depend on the state of the world and what's going on, I suppose. We also have the Plein Air Convention coming up, and Plein Air Convention is going to be in Denver. I should probably show you a graphic real quickly. Plein Air Convention will be in Denver, and it will be in May, and we will do it live and in person if we're allowed. And that will be May 23rd in Denver. And so sign up for that because the price goes up Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving week, and it's going to increase a couple $100. Also, should mention I'm taking a group of artists to Russia, and pricing I think is up now. If not, it will be today or tomorrow. Paintrussia.com, only 48 people can go, and I'm sure we're going to fill that up fast, but if you're interested, get into that. And also, last but not least, I do a blog called Sunday Coffee, and yesterday I talked about elections and the one question you can ask yourself when making your decision. I never get political, That's not what I want to do. I want to respect your thoughts and your beliefs. But go to Sunday Coffee and ask yourself that one question. It's one question nobody's ever asked, probably when thinking about an election. It's one question that might help you resolve if you're on the fence one way or the other. Coffeewitheric.com. Well, thank you for watching day 222. It's a monumental day because my mentor, Charles White, has been with us. Thank you again, Charles. I'm Eric Rhoads, publisher and founder of Plein Air magazine and Fine Art Connoisseur magazine, among other things. We will see you tomorrow at 12 noon, right here, same place, same bat place, same bat channel, as we used to say back in the 60s. All right, take care. Bye-bye.